I wanted to make a quick video today addressing why people sell their winners instead of selling their losers, and I wanted to make an analogy to that with NFL quarterbacks. So let's take a look. I went back and I looked at the QB ratings for 2023 and 2024 in the regular season, and it looks like Lamar Jackson had the best rating in 2024, and he had a pretty good year, especially compared to his previous year. He returned, quote unquote, about 15.3%, which is pretty good. If you look at all these other quarterbacks that are in that highlighted line, these are your guys that would have been better than your average from 2024, which was about 58%. Kind of down below, you had some guys that didn't do so well, and kind of your outlier there is Bryce Young, because even though he didn't do so well with that 54.1%, he did a lot better than he did in 2023, and he's showing a lot of potential and a lot of room for improvement, and that he's done a lot better in the past. And so that might be applicable to somebody who, or a company that has gotten beaten down or started out bad, but you have a lot of faith in the potential and they might still do pretty well. But let's take a look at some of these other guys that are down at the bottom, like Gardner Minshew. You see, he did pretty well. He did above average in 2023, but then he plummeted about 58%, really if you round up 59% in 2024, all the way down to a 38.1% QB rating. Is that a guy you want to build your franchise around? And so what this applies to is a lot of times people will have a stock in their portfolio that gets beaten down and they just don't want to sell it because they hope that it'll get back to break even because they can't stand to lose that money. But if you applied that to your fantasy football team, or if you were running this franchise, would you want a Gardner Minshew type stock for the long term in your portfolio, or for the long term running your football team? Now, probably not. You'd want to sell that and you'd want to get something better, something that'll grow and something that'll be above average for you in the long run. And so let's make the other example. Let's take a look at somebody like Josh Allen, who did pretty well in 2023. He did pretty well in 2024. He gained about 9.6 or 9.06% over the course of that year. He's a pretty solid quarterback. Now, what people will do a lot of times is they'll have a stock that performs pretty well in a given year, and when things start to sell off a little bit, they'll get rid of that one. They'll get rid of the good one, and they'll keep the Minshew. They'll keep the CJ Stroud. They'll keep the Kirk Cousins because they want to get back to break even with it, even though that's not a good decision for them in the long term, because you want to keep the ones that are performing well. You want to keep the ones that are going to give your franchise or your stock portfolio hope in the future, and you want to get rid of the ones that are making you look bad, the ones that are losing you money and losing you football games.